What makes a good friend?
In my view, while common interests are a great starting point, the bedrock of a truly deep friendship is emotional reliability. It's that rare ability for someone to just be there and hold space for you without having a specific agenda or trying to fix every problem immediately. For instance, being able to let your guard down and be vulnerable without the fear of being judged is where genuine trust is forged. That said, a bit of brutal honesty is also necessary. You need a friend who isn't afraid to tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable.
How do people maintain long distance friendships?
I think the key is letting go of the need for constant contact and getting comfortable with a more sporadic rhythm. Trying to force a daily back and forth often leads to frustration, so it's better to focus on the quality of the connection rather than the frequency. A long, unrushed video call once a month can do more to rekindle a bond than 100 surface-level text messages. However, without a deliberate effort to check in occasionally, even the most solid friendship can start to atrophy over time.
Do social media friendships count as real friendships?
I'd say it's a bit of a gray area, as the platform itself is just a medium for communication. What really determines the reality of a bond is the depth of the interaction, rather than whether it happens online or offline. You might find more genuine empathy in a niche online group than you do with casual acquaintances you see by default at work. On the flip side, if the relationship is limited to just liking photos, it's more of a form of digital voyeurism than an actual friendship.
Why do some friendships end?
More often than not, it's not a dramatic fallout, it's just a quiet process of divergent life paths. Reasoning, as people evolve, the connective tissue of shared circumstances that once held them together can simply wear thin over time. For instance, a friendship can eventually become a souvenir of a past self, where you're just rehashing old stories because you no longer share a present context. That doesn't mean there's a bad guy in the situation. Sometimes outgrowing a relationship is just a natural part of personal growth.
Is it easier to make friends as a child or adult?
Comparatively, childhood wins hands down, but in terms of substance, adult friendships are often more stable. Reasoning, kids make friends based on proximity. You're in the same class, so you're friends. Whereas adults make a conscious, intentional choice. For instance, while it takes more effort to put yourself out there as an adult, the resulting bonds are usually built on genuine compatibility rather than just shared geography. Nevertheless, the unfiltered spontaneity of childhood friendships is something that's very hard to replicate in later life.
What qualities are essential for lasting friendship?
Beyond trust and loyalty, I think the most vital quality for the long haul is flexibility. Explaining a friendship that lasts decades has to survive both people evolving. You have to be willing to embrace the new version of your friend as they change. It's about not keeping score of who called last and understanding that life sometimes gets in the way of regular contact. Mind you, this high trust dynamic only works if there is a baseline of reliability that both people can fall back on.